Hi, we're going to look at the program An Inside Story for the Apple IIe. And there you see is the Apple IIe. Looks a little different than our modern day computers, but first thing we do is turn on the power to the monitor. I'm going to have to lean forward here, right up here. There's that lovely green monochromatic screen. And then what we need to do is put the disc in. These were called 5¼ inch floppy discs. So there it is, straight from Apple, the Inside Story. Put it down, excuse me. And that's it. It is floppy. We put it in the disk drive right here and close the door. Now we're going to turn the computer on, which is a lever in the back here. And it's booting up. Apple II ProDOS 1.1.1. Just a moment, please. There it is, the IIe Inside Story. Welcome to the Inside Story, copyright 1985, Apple Computers, Inc. Press return to continue. Excuse me. The Inside Story menu. Number 1, Introduction. 2, the problem at hand. 3, the drama unfolds. 4, the plot thickens. 5, the Inside Story game. And 6, quit the Inside Story. You have to use the up and down arrow keys to choose it, or you can type in the number. You can see as you arrow down, the new one has the carets around it and the capitals. So we're going to go to the introduction and hit return. Welcome to the Inside Story, a special part of your introduction to the Apple IIe. To show you just how the Apple does its job, we've prepared a little detective story for your enjoyment. Our gripping saga outlines the basic steps of computer operation and explains some computer buzzwords along the way. There are 3 parts, and we recommend you go through all of them in order. At the end, you can play the Inside Story game. It will help you remember the concepts presented in the story. Anytime you want to go back to the menu, just press the Escape key. You don't need to try it now. To start the action, just press Return or press Escape to go back to the menu. I'm hitting Return. It was hot in Silicon Valley that day, but business was ice cold. I had been sitting in my office all afternoon killing time and alien invaders on my Apple IIe. I'm Sherlock, caps lock, one of the best private eyes in the valley. Suddenly, there was a woman's knock at the door. I got my 10 toes off the desk and said, "Come in." "Excuse me, are you Mr. Caps Lock?" "Yeah, that's me. What can I do for you?" "Well, I'm glad I found you. I'm Nancy Novice, and I've just had a little accident with my Apple IIe. "What happened? Lose some important data or something?" "That's right. I was typing something this morning, and suddenly the power went off before I could print anything. And then I heard this strange laughter like somebody had done it intentionally. What's going on?" "Well, it looked like Ms. Novice had had a run-in with that creep Blackie Power Out, but I didn't want to alarm her, so I just said, 'Listen, Ms. Novice, there's a lot going on, but I'll get you set up so you won't have to sit through a rerun of this morning.'" "Really? What are you going to do?" "Just step over here to my desk. I'm going to give you the inside story on the Apple IIe." We'll go on to the next part. We walked over to my Apple IIe. It really looked good sitting there. I turned it around and said, "Now, Ms. Novice, you've got a bird's eye view with the keyboard on the left. And since this is a special IIe with a transparent top, you can actually see the logic board inside."
That's really impressive, Mr. Capslock. It looks pretty complicated.
Well, it is, but we'll take it step by step, and you'll catch on in no time.
That's fine. Go ahead.
First, notice the disk drive. It takes information off a floppy disk or puts information on it. But the real action goes on here with all the integrated circuits, called chips. They're silicon wafers with electronic circuits etched inside. And this is the big guy, the boss, the microprocessor, the brain of the whole system. This bunch of chips over here is the read-only memory, or ROM for short. The guys at Apple put information in ROM that stays there all the time, whether the power is on or off.
What kind of information?
Oh, things like the AppleSoft basic programming language. But don't worry, you don't really need to know much about that, or ROM. Last but not least are the chips that make up random access memory, or RAM. Now, RAM is nothing to sneeze at.
Why? What's so great about RAM?
That's where your information was when you had trouble this morning. Let me show you what happened. When the power's on, your information is in RAM. But if the power goes off, all the info goes away.
Oh, so I've got to make a permanent copy of my work on a disk.
Right, you're catching on.
Yes, I think so, but I still don't see what all this has to do with the Apple IIe and me.
Ms. Novice was with me all the way so far, but now I had to take her a little deeper. We will do the rest of the story in the second part of the video.